Hello, welcome to yet another tutorial for custom mockup designers. This is specifically for persons who want to make designs and presentations for their new projects. Okay, so today we are going to be using one of our own custom design by Fabulous Studios. So he made this wonderful work, and you can see a lot of them. By the way, if you have not actually have access to this, you can check the link in the description beneath this video and you get access directly. So we are going to be recreating this, but we are going to be doing it a little more advanced than what we currently have here. Okay, and let me show you a context of what I'm talking about. So the idea is to make sure we have a content that is popping out and colliding with the next section or something like that, so making that effect look so realistic. And furthermore, also having a connection between the two tabs or the two divs or the two layouts, as we have from here, the connection from here, and then there's separation, and then there's another connection from the one at the top. Not direct connection, this is an overlay, but this is not just an overlay, this is an overlay and a connection. So I'm going to show you how that works and how to actually easily make this. It's very, very easy to do. So let's get into it. So first off, we have to head over to Photoshop and we need to create a new layout. With this, we will need to create the width to be 2000 and the height to be 2500 pixels. Make sure the resolution stays at 300 pixels and leave the color at RGB. Then create, and we have this layout. First, I don't like the background to be pure white, so I like to go with a subtle brown, gray. So we go down a little like this. At this age, you can see it very closely from here. You get that? So making it that way, it becomes easier for us to actually concentrate and separate the background itself from any layout that are having white color or anything in between. So after we're done with that, we need to start dropping in our boxes. If you are using the latest version of Photoshop, you don't need to go to Illustrator to do this. If you are using the latest version of Photoshop, all you need to do is click on this, right click on this and select on a rectangular tool. You can draw your rectangular tool as you want, and then from the option you can now curve the layout as you want. But for this, it's a little bit stressful for me because I have to do it manually. I have to set this, link this up, and I don't even know how to do the rest of those things. Very good, they have linked up. So you see my layout is now curved a little as I want it, but I think this could be like 330 and that should be okay. Perfect, it's perfect. I like 30 pixels. Like this is perfectly fine for me. But if you are having stress doing it like this in Photoshop, you are using the latest version, if you just curve that, you see the 3 anchor point. Let me show you what that is going to look like. So when you create something like this, okay, in Illustrator, you're going to see this in Photoshop latest version. You're going to see these 3 anchor points, 1, 2, and 3. All you need to do is to drag it in, to curve it and drag it out. The same thing we did there, but a little bit more stressful. And in most cases, what I might do is so just create this in Illustrator, drag this into Photoshop, and I'm good to start work. But why I like this Photoshop version is because it makes it easier for us to control everything. It's granular and it's very, very more easier. So let's make this 40 pixel and we apply all to the layout. So we have 3 layouts. We have 1 layout, and we have to convert this to 4 layouts first before we start the rest of the things. So click this, push it to the right corner, make a space enough for what you want it to be. Okay, the space between 2 elements in any designer tool is called a gutter. Okay, this is a gutter. Now in this gutter, we don't need it to be too much. We just need a very slight space from there, and make sure that the same gutter size is the same gutter size in horizontal and vertical alignment. Let me show you what that simply means. So when we push in the gutter here, we must make sure the space here is equal to the space here, even though it's not perfectly practically exact, okay, but it should be close to what we have from that place. And make sure that all layouts are practically equal, as you can have from here, left and right. Once we are done with that, drag in the element to make sure that this stays in the middle. You see the pink color, and make sure it stays in the middle also. It stays in the middle and it needs to be center aligned, but that is not showing up. But let's assume this is the center. This is the middle actually, and let's assume this is the center because we have enough space from there. Okay, so the first page is where we're going to drop in elements, basic elements as we want. So the first one, I would like to drop in the mockup I have done already. So I like to pick on this one because it's facing right, and I'm going to show you why it's supposed to be that. So when we place it, we see that it covers the first one. Make sure you select the one you want it to be on and place it on that one. See, from the right corner from here, look very closely. From right corner from here, what we need to do is to right click option and we create clip masking. It will automatically go over that element. So we have number one over here. You can further reduce it to whatever size you want, okay, and rearrange it to match or fit what you want. Hit on enter and we are good to go. Second one, we have to pick an element facing right, okay. So maybe we pick this one over here. We drag it in and we place it. Make sure you select the layout first before you do this, so that it will automatically be at the top side of that particular layout. Click option again and we create clip masking and it's masked. So we have two, number one and number two. Now number three and number four is where we start playing around the miracle. So what we need to do here is to get the image we want to use, and we have the image from here, but I want to show you in case you're working on another client's project and you don't want to pick the image from the website they have actually done. This not actually done by me, this done by a client I make mockup for, or presentation mockup for. What you need to do, you can head over to free pick. You will need to search for images. Maybe you could search for hospital care. Okay, let's hit on enter. Let's see what we're gonna find. Okay, so we have this one, very nice. You see it's popping out from this edge. We have also this one popping out from this edge. This one will work sometimes, but you're gonna pick images that we make sure that the persons you want to actually cut out, they actually pop in from that layout. Like for instance, this one works perfectly well also. We can decide to use this. We can also decide to use this. This will work perfectly well also. Can decide to use this, but make sure the head part is showing perfectly well. Okay, we are going to try out one so that we will go back to the one we used. So I'll show you how to connect that. You can't use this because their hair is not actually full, the part of it is not showing, so you can't use that particular one. We just find one that makes more sense or is easy. This one can work, but this guy over here won't work, but this one will work because this lady here will work and this other lady here also will work. So let's scroll up and use just one of these one. Let's try out this one. Let's use this one. So we download it in medium or maybe in the highest resolution quality. The higher resolution quality it is, the easier it is for you to cut out the image. So drag it into Photoshop over here and we drag it over that layout, those two layouts. Make sure it is over those two layouts. Okay, these two layouts. Fine. You hit on enter. Now listen and watch very carefully. This is the tricky part. Watch very, very carefully, please. Okay. So here is the trick. We have two elements. Number one is the one at the right, which is this one, and number one is the one at the left. Now this layout this element we just dropped now. What we are going to do is very simple. We are going to duplicate it, Ctrl and J. Hold your Ctrl key and click on J. Okay. Now the first one, we have to drag it to the second one. So we have now, let me show you what we have. We have, you see what we have? We have the image, first one going to the top side, and we have the second one going to the other side. Okay, this other one is staying over the two of them, but this one is staying over only this one, which means we can right click on this and create clip mask on it. And we have that one there, and we select on this, enable it again, right click on it and create clip mask. So which means these are two different images, but we duplicate them and keep them in the same place. If you in case increase the size of this second one, you have spoiled the whole thing. You see the man hand is no more aligning perfectly well with what we want. I hope you understand the trick there. So just to making sure they both actually align well. Now that we have that all set, what we need to do is to select on the second one because it is the one that their hair is actually popping. Select on it, go over to select over here, okay? Then click on subjects. That's just all you need to do. Then wait a little while. The tool will do its work by cutting out the persons, the subjects, which are these persons here. And what we need to do now is to click on Ctrl and J to cut out that one that we just copied. Okay, so now we have this element here, we have this image, we have this other image. Now this one that we just cut out, let me show you what it looks like. See what it looks like? That is what we want. Now in that one, what we need to do now is to select on it and use the eraser tool, select on the eraser tool and erase the parts that we don't want. Like for instance, we don't want this part. You see, it's erased. We don't want this part. Even if we erase the center, nothing will seem to happen. But when something will seem to happen is when we disable the ones that are showing in. So these other ones are actually making it look as if there is nothing that we are erasing from there. Okay, but it now be erasing from the outside. As you can see how it's working from here. You understand it now? Very simple. It's very simple. Very, very simple. So that's just the simple layout. This one in the center here, I don't want the man's leg to show from here. We erase that one. Let his phone just collide from that end. Let's zoom more closely so that we can be more exact. This hair over here, I don't like it. So make sure you watch, check on your work very, 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 very well. Let's reduce this one and erase this part. Fine. So make sure it is clean. So we see we have a man. If we don't want this one to be showing in the center, we can just erase it like this. So it's more subtle. Like this other man is holding his hand from the back side and this one is holding his hand from the front side. So this look more realistic. Now, what if we want to increase the size of this thing further than it is currently? What we need to do is to select on this layer that is outside, select on all we need to do is select all images, all of them, not whether the one we erased or the one we did not erase, but all of them that are in this particular section. Select all of them, 1, 2, and 3. Don't select the background, because if you select the background itself, it is going to increase the background too, and that's not what we want. Okay, so select only on the images, then you can expand this. Now look, it's selecting that background. I don't want that background selected. Control Z. Fine, let's select it again. We select this one, and select only this one. Now, just expand these things. Where we notice issue is this part, that this woman, this lady, body part is coming out from this part, which we can easily fix by what? Selecting on the image itself and using the eraser tool to erase that part. Selecting on this, increase. And by the way, if you want to increase this brush tool, you can do that by clicking on this option or increase it from here. Okay, make sure it's selected on the hardened. Make sure the opacity is at 100. So we can erase this part. You see, it's erasing the lady's hair. We can erase this part and we are good to go. But this is too much. The one we have previously is cool enough, except that we just need to increase it just a little bit. Just a little bit. Something like this is okay. Perfect. So we select on this and we select on the lady. We will now need to erase this part that we don't want. So you see how sleek and beautiful this is. You can just drop your name by the side, then put a background image, whatever background image you want to put. You don't need to put the logo in the center here because this particular element won't allow that work. So this is what we call custom design. When you make custom designs like this, you can charge a lot of money. I charge within $50 to $100 to make like 8 to 10 pieces of this. And it makes more sense because it's a very simple thing to do. So you can get into our platform in the Telegram group. It's for free. If you want to join, you can join in so you can also follow other designers to learn. In our next tutorial, we'll be learning another custom mockup design. Maybe we'll find other one, maybe from here or something else. We have some from somewhere else, and we are going to do something way better and make something that makes more sense. I like this too. But making that pop out from, like making this mobile phone pop out from this side, we make this look more unique to your brand or to your design itself than just being a general content you just created. And if you want to practice with us on most of the mockup tutorial we have done in the past, you can check the link or the thumbnail in the right hand side of this video right now, or the one by the left. You will be able to join us to practice and also get better. Perfect. So we have number one. See the background we added from here. Then see, you can add your name slightly. Don't make your name too bold when you are creating custom mockup. Reduce the opacity very well. Let it not be too bold. Okay. See the second one. See how it looks. You see the first one. See how it looks. See the uniqueness is just the secret is just in what? The pop-up coming up from here. The pop-up coming up from here. The connection in between. The connection in between. The pop-up coming out from here. The pop-up coming out from here. And the connection in between. So it is as simple as that. If you have any question, drop that in the comment section below. You will see the link to join the practical group in the description below. Once again, my name is Manuel from Kata Studios. Do have a wonderful day.